Glad to know you stay with us. Lagos State is facing a significant environmental challenge due to the high volume of plastic waste, particularly from single-use plastics, SUPs, such as PET bottles and sachet water packaging. These materials are non-biodegradable, contributing to environmental pollution, blocking drainage systems and causing health risks. The government's decision to ban SUPs starting in January 2025 aims to address these issues, but it poses potential economic and operational challenges for businesses and residents. Olaniyi Oladimeji, Chairman, Board of Trustees, Guild of Water Purifiers and Researchers of Nigeria, that's GOWPARN, joins me for this. Thank you so much, sir, for joining me today.
Thank you.
All right, and I also have joining me for this conversation Dr. Femi Idowu Adegoke, Chartered Waste and Resources Engineer. Thank you, Dr. Femi, for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Well, let me begin with you. For many Nigerians, that announcement that came last week was the very first time they would hear about this. But tell us, for how long have you known this was going to happen?
Thank you. I just want to thank the state government, the president of Association of Small Business Owners of Nigeria, Dr. Femi Idowu, and our association, Water Producers Association, GOWPARN, that is Guild of Water Purifiers and Researchers of Nigeria, GOWPARN. So this information came to us last month, the last Saturday of the month when we were having our general meeting. But what we heard about the information, we are still trying to verify to ensure that it is the decision of the state. So we have not even received it officially as far as we, the producers, are concerned.
Let me get you correctly.
Yes.
I mean, you are a stakeholder.
Yes.
This particular decision is going to affect your business, your organization, and all of that. Yes. And you're saying that you do not have the information. Is it that the government did not deem it fit to communicate with you, or you weren't part of, maybe there was another group the government communicated? Because I do not want to believe that the government would come up with such a decision that has, that would have impacts on your economic, on your business without necessarily telling you about it.
Yes, what I'm saying is that, we have so many groups, so many associations as far as a water producer is concerned. Then the point is this, maybe others have been informed by the state. We have more than 500 producers, different associations, the registered one and unregistered one, all right? But as far as our association is concerned, we had it from our members, all right? It's not directly from the state. So you understand now? That is exactly what I'm saying. So,
all right, that's interesting.
That was last month, the last Saturday of the month of September. So,
all right. When that story came out, for many of us, we're wondering how this was going to impact businesses. So tell us, how will this impact your business and that of others within your group, water purifiers, water makers?
Looking at it critically, so many people are engaged in water production and the uses. As far as we water producer is concerned, it's going to affect us negatively. Negatively in the sense that it can stop production because we have not actually worked towards it. We are just changing from one system to another system. It will involve costing. We will sort for money or funds to do that. And then another thing is that we have to prepare for the material to be used. And the material, if we are preparing the material for the production, we have to work in conjunction with the government and the environment and the community. So that it's going to affect us seriously. It's going to stop production. It's going to involve costing. It's going to create unemployment for millions that are engaged in water production. That is part. Then those who are end user, because most of the people, almost 90% of population of Nigeria depend on private water. All right? Definitely, if we do not produce, it's going to affect them. It's going to affect us, and it's going to affect them. So in terms of cost, in terms of changing of the, in terms of production and changing of material, in terms of those who will use the product and the workers who will work there and the producers of those materials we are using. It's going to be changed.
I mean, it's a long value chain of persons, people, individuals, that will be affected.
Yes, millions.
Absolutely. Let me come to you, Dr. Femi. Dr. Femi, if you're still with us, can you confirm?
I'm still with you.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Olaniyi. I can hear you. I hear you clearly.
All right. I mean, it's a dicey one here. On the one hand, we're talking about the environment, and then on the other hand, we're also looking at how this will impact businesses, and not just businesses, even end users. I mean, some persons, Sachet water is very dear to them. Where are they going to get water from? It's not like the state has made provision for waters to run through homes and all of those. So where do you stand here? I know you're an environmentalist, but talk to us. What do you make of all of this? Because there are so many moving parts and we need to have a balance.
Okay, thank you very much, the program moderator, and thank you, Mr. Oladimeji. First, I want to lay a good foundation that the policy or the pronouncement by Lagos State Government, Ministry of Environment and Water Resources, well, they're saying no to single-use plastic. I think we need to define proper definition of what single-use plastic is. These, for me, as an environmentalist, as a waste management expert, and as a practitioner in the industry in waste recycling in Lagos State, I will tell you that, yeah, they've mentioned quite a few that are single-use, like the plastic straws, the nylon bags that are less than 40 microns, the plastic cutlery, and then styrofoam. And if we recollect, sometimes this year, early this year, an abrupt pronouncement of touch was made also by Lagos State to say no to single-use plastic. Don't get me wrong, plastic has its negative impact on the environment, on our health, on climate change. We all know that. But when these plastics came to use in the early 1950s, they were seen as the darling of every society because they were more durable, they were more handy, they were on the go. Everybody changed from the glass that we're used to for packaging, food materials, beverages, to plastic. And also that led, people did not think about the management of the post-consumer of this material, which is what is the problem. So I always say this, is plastic the problem? Hell no. The problem is proper waste management. We do not have a proper waste management system, which is part of our, which factors that contribute to it are behavioral, attitudinal, lack of infrastructure, and lack of financial instruments. So to develop the waste management sector in Lagos and in the country as a whole. I know Lagos State is acting, they are acting on the national policy that is coming to play, but we are advocates as an environmentalist for just transition. What we call just transition. We need to move from face down, then leading to face out. Certain materials, certain plastic can be banned within the period that has been stated, that between now by January 2025. I don't see how you can ban sachet water between now and January 2025 when we do not even have pipe-borne water at home. Over 80% of Nigerians today depend on sachet water for their potable water consumption. So that also has to be looked in. That question needs to be asked. And also the PET that was mentioned, to some people it is waste, but to some of us it is products. So we cannot take, we cannot look at countries who have proper waste management in place and their economy abound and say we want to ban in Nigeria as well. So we need to look at these things critically. We need to look at the environmental impact, which I know that's what the Lagos State government is looking at, but you must balance that with the social impact, and as well balance it with the economic impact. as Mr. Adele said, in the recycling space, there are in Lagos, I'm the president of Lagos Recyclers Association, and there are over 160 small and medium enterprises who are into recycling, plastic, aluminum cans, water sachet. So more like PET bottles and sachet for us in the recycling space are no longer a challenge. They are actually a resource. So it is, what do we need to do? Is to the government to support the private sector to build the infrastructures, the financial instruments to develop that sector and the proper waste management. And also, I am not saying we should not ban single-use plastic. So I don't want to be misquoted. Single-use plastics that are non-recyclable, that are non-recoverable, like I said earlier on, destroy.
Let me come in here. Let me come in here, Doctor. Now, you said so many things, really, and I want to put this to you. Do you think the state has explored options such as, raising public awareness? There's so many things, really, implementing efficient waste management plans and creating strong legislative frameworks to mitigate the negative effect of plastic pollution on the environment and the health of general people? Because does it seem to you like that option wasn't explored well enough? Rather than doing all of that, if government just stood up and went for what felt or what seems to be cheaper and easier for it, without even looking at or considering what this would mean for people in that space.
Okay, yeah, I get you, and I share that your opinion, the opinion as well, that there is need for. I remember when this was pronounced earlier this year, I put out a press release on behalf of my association, and then we categorically stated that there is need for proper public education, there is need for what is called just transition. If we want to ban it now, what is the plan to recover the materials, the plastic that have already been released into the environment? How do we recover those ones? So what we're saying now is, like I said earlier on, it has to be a just transition that we include everybody. Like Mr. Adele in the studio yesterday, even my own association, we did not get a direct contact for this stakeholder discussion that held last week, that this report that everybody is now bantering about came from. We were not contacted directly. Few of our members who overheard and attended spoke to me as well. And I said, well, we watch, let's watch and see. And before your station came and said they want me to speak on this, plastic in itself is not a problem. I mean the recyclable plastics. But the single-use plastic, even when you want to ban the single-use plastic, it has to be from phase down to phase out. It has to be a just transition, and we have to develop our extended producers' responsibility. I know Lagos State is saying they're working with manufacturers to develop a mandatory extended producer responsibility. But that cannot be done overnight. And then between now and January is just 4 months, 3 to 4 months. I don't know how we're going to achieve that. But okay. I agree with you, there is need for more advocacy, awareness, and support for the industries, both the water manufacturer, the recyclables. We must all come together on the table. We must think global and act local. We must develop what works for us in this country. We cannot take technology or ideas from outside, hook, line, and sinker, and dump it on ourselves, and then further destroy our social, economic, and environmental fabrics.
Perfectly put. Thank you so much. Now, let me come to you. Let me close with you now. What are your thoughts now? If you have a sit with the government, what would you be asking the government to do at this point in time?
Thank you, the moderator. I will appeal to the government to give us more time, minimum of 2 years, so that we can work on how to change or transit from the old one we are using to the new one. And at the same time, the government should be ready to assist the association, how to get the valuable that will be friendly with the health of the people. Because I'm sure the government is thinking in terms of welfare and of the people, because they are in charge. But at the same time, if they are banning this thing within a short period, it will be a counterproductive, because those people they are trying to protect will be the one to be affected seriously. So government should give us more time and then provide avenue in terms of resources or fund, or even the contact the researchers and give us sample what we can use. So we will now work on it.
So we don't even know. You don't even know what you can use. You don't know.
We know what we can use, but as at now, they are very, very expensive. They are very, very expensive. For example, if we are to change now, something like glass, which is very expensive.
But that was where we moved away from.
Aha.
Are we moving back there?
Stainless steel, but they are very expensive. 3, so it's very, very expensive too. But we have to do a research on it seriously and ensure that it abides with the needs and the welfare of the people. That they should give us more time and provide avenue, a conducive environment for us to change from one old system to the new one.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, Dr. Femi, thank you so much for your time on the show today also.
Yes.
You're welcome. Thank you.